everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to do a reading on Kaylee Goncalves. What I want to know is what she was feeling on the day leading up to her murder and at the time of her murder, to see if there are any clues into who killed her and her friends. So as usual, I'm just going to shuffle and start the reading. So when I was getting ready, setting up my equipment and everything, I heard the word bloodstain. It made me feel like while there was a lot of blood on the scene, apparently, there's a blood stain that's out of place. Or there's a blood stain that doesn't make sense to the crime scene. And I feel like that's significant somehow. Perhaps it's the killer's blood, or there's a clue. There's a clue related to a blood stain. And the feeling that I get is that it's out of place or it doesn't make sense. Also, I've been contemplating whether or not to put this out here, so I'm just going to, because the reason is because I'm not really sure what it means. Usually for me, I will get messages when I am in between waking up and being asleep. And I got a message that I feel like is related to this murder. That it was a male, and he was speaking to at least one, or I felt like there was three, and he was saying to them, we can't use brawn, we have to use brains. So I'm not really sure what that means. I was kind of going back and forth. Is that the police that are saying that? But to me it felt like the killer. And what I felt like is I don't think the killer thought that this murder was going to be as highly publicized as it currently is. I feel like it also kind of indicates that there was some planning that went into it. Yeah, again, I'm not really sure what it means. I'm waiting for clarification, but someone involved in the situation said, I can't use brawn, I have to use brains. I'm not sure what that means, but it's significant somehow. Spiritual strength in reverse, suffering in silence. That made me feel like Kaylee was very vocal. Two things. Kaylee was very vocal about the problems in her life. Also, I feel like that meant... So I feel like on the day of her death, she was speaking about the problems in her life. But I also feel like she also made noise during the murder. Hmm. So that made me feel like she didn't go down without a fight. Very vocal. Power in reverse and destiny in reverse. That to me is a sense of a lack of control. So, so that made me feel like even though she was apparently had her life all mapped out, there was something in her life that she felt like she had no control of over. Okay, so that it's taking me back to the the vocal. I feel like during the murder she was being vocal as a way of saying like, no, you are not going to have this control over my life. Like she was definitely fighting. I keep thinking about those phone calls apparently that she supposedly made. That might be representative. I feel like maybe she's saying like, I tried to fight. I called my ex for help. So that makes me feel like she heard what was happening and she tried to get help. Conflict and defeat. Moving on. That made me feel like she's not holding any grudges, like on the other side. And I feel like perhaps that was her attitude in life. Um, I feel like her and Maddie were similar in that they just kind of moved on after being hurt. It's like they were not people that held grudges, which I feel like is the opposite of what the killer is. The killer holds grudges. These girls did not. Look at transformation in reverse, conflict and defeat in reverse. And that's the thing. It's just repeating what I've just said. It's like whoever this killer is could not let go of a grudge. So really the police should be looking into whoever would be considered an enemy to her. Balance and firm foundation and reverse. Yeah, like in the media, it seems like Kaylee had her life mapped out, but I don't feel like she felt like that. those cards just made me feel like there was something off. Like, I feel like I'm wondering if she had some, like, intuition. Because I feel like when she went into the house that night, she felt something was off. It's almost like she knew something was gonna happen. Those cards made me feel like she had, like, spiritual gifts of some sort. Like she had intuition. That night she knew something was off within the house. Discontent and boredom, victory and success. I just heard blew it off. She had a bad feeling and she blew it off. Fertility in reverse and discontent and boredom. Yeah, again. She had a bad feeling that night and she blew it off. I'm wondering. Memories of love and fertility. Yeah. She had a bad feeling, but she blew it off because of her optimistic attitude. It's the feeling I get is like everything had been fine up until this point. So it's like she had no reason to feed her negative feelings. Yeah, it's like but she definitely knew something was not right that night. But she just blew it off because nothing ever came of it before. Nothing ever came of it. Again, it's leading me back to this has happened before and no one, like, nothing ever happened. So, which leads me to believe, that this is whatever happened that night has happened before. So she felt like, well, I don't need to worry. So this, again, there's history here. This killer and her have a history. I just heard a pattern. There's history. And she felt like something bad might happen that night, but then she went back to, well, nothing has ever happened before, so why would it happen tonight? So she blew it off instead of listening to her gut. Ooh. Wisdom. She knew. She absolutely knew something was happening. That was the bottom of the deck. Triumph. Yeah, she actually is the one that I think that really tried to fight back. I think because I think she was a little bit a step ahead. I think she kind of knew something was going to happen, but even though she was a little bit I think they were saying that they got caught off guard, but I think she knew something was happening. And she tried to fight it, but it was too late. Look at intuition. I'm telling you, Kaylee had gifts. I don't know that she recognized it, but that night she knew something was going down. Shadow. She knew this. She knew this person. I feel like she's seen him or seen the way he was behaving and knew something was off. I feel like she's seen him. I just heard hiding. She's seen him hiding. I feel like Kaylee knew that there was something off with this person that night. Like so that makes me feel like at some point during the night they ran into this person and I feel like she felt something was off. Passion ignited. This card just made me feel like alcohol because I watched the food truck video and I seen that she was a bit intoxicated. So I know that she was intoxicated and I feel like that deadened her intuition that night. Instead of being more alert, she just downplayed her feelings because of alcohol. I think the feeling I get is that if she had been completely sober, she may have said to her friend, I'm getting a weird vibe, maybe we should leave or maybe we should pay attention or whatnot. But I feel like because of the alcohol, she just let her feelings slide. Third eye. Okay, so what that made me feel like is instead of saying something, she just watched. So I feel like instead of saying something to her friend, she just watched this person. Whereas, again, if she had sober, she would have said something. So this makes me feel like the person that did this was with them that night. And Kaylee was watching him, but not saying anything. She had a bad feeling, she's seen a glimpse, or she's seen something that felt wrong, but she didn't say anything. Partnerships and alliance. And I feel like the reason is because this person was not attached to her, was attached to her friend. So I think she felt like it was not her place to say something. Again, I feel like which was the alcohol talking. Because the feeling that I get is like when you don't really like your friend's boyfriend, but you don't say anything out of respect for your friend. I feel like perhaps sober she may have been upfront, but the alcohol convinced her that she should just stay in her place, right? did not want to wreck a friendship. So again, this person I feel like is attached to Maddie somehow. Or attached to one of her friends, anyways. So even though she saw something that felt off, she didn't say anything out of respect for her friendship. Positive moving forward. I just felt like this person had changed in the past. And maybe that's what she was told. Oh, this person has changed. This person is not the same person that they used to be. So again, letting it slide. Excuse me. Authority. I feel like the police are gonna catch him. Yeah, I feel like alcohol was a factor in this a lot. Because I feel like Kaylee was a bit off her game that night. Was not paying attention to the red flags, and I feel like it was because of alcohol. And I feel like there was also other elements at play. Friendship was at play, not wanting to wreck the friendship. Things had been getting better. Like, yeah, that makes me feel like she knew what was going down. Excuse me. Yeah, like Kaylee did not act on what she was seeing. And not to blame her, because it's not her fault at all. But I do feel like at the time of the murder and her death, she knew what was happening beforehand. But, you know, we all rationalize, oh, this person wouldn't do something like that. I'm just being paranoid. I feel like that's a common phrase that people tell themselves. Oh, I'm just being paranoid. This guy's changed. I've seen the change, right? I think that's what she was saying. Plus, it's my friend, you know what I mean? It's so-and-so's friend. I don't want to wreck our friendship by bringing this up, especially since they're, you know, getting better. But I feel like the police are gonna know, are gonna figure out what has happened. Rejoice in celebration. Again, drinking. This person was with them that night and I feel like was involved in their partying, in their drinking. The person was there. So this does not make me feel like some rando person that just happened by. This is a person that she knew, that was in their inner circle, who was involved in their lives, especially if she's thinking that he, he, I believe it's a he, has changed, had gotten better. So I feel like the police really need to focus on who was interacting with them that night. Also, Kaylee fought back using her voice. So I think those messages are relevant that she was sending in some manner. I feel like we'll have to look into those messages. I'm I'm not getting a vibe if that was a call for help, but I feel like she knew what was happening and she tried to call for help. Those messages I feel like were a way to fight back. Mental conflict. I feel like she is confused by this murder. I think she's conflicted because it's like I know Ethan said, I thought you were my friend, and I think that she felt the same. It's like I don't think she understood why this person was doing what they were doing. It's kind of like, well, I like you. Why are you doing this? I thought we were, close. Outcome, balance. I feel like this situation is going to resolve itself. I feel like she's okay on the other side. It's so weird because I feel like she's like communicating from the other side, like giving people like clues. It's like the feeling I get is like she's trying to solve the case from the other side. And I feel like that's why she knows that this is gonna happen, that the police are gonna figure it out. This person, I feel like this person she considered to be a friend. And I feel like she knew something was gonna go down, but she did not act until it was too late. This person was out with them. I feel like at the bar. So I feel like this person is on camera either at the bar or at the food truck. This person's on camera 100% and is interacting with them. There's a history because she had come to the conclusion that things were changing. Or she rationalized the weird behavior that she saw with the fact that this person had changed in the recent past. I feel like she tried to get help, but I feel like she was stifled. Like, I feel like her intuition was stifled because of the drinking. And therefore, she did not act, she just observed. And the reason is because she did not want to compromise her relationships in her life. Which leads me to believe that this person was not directly connected to her, but connected to one of her friends. Why is there mental conflict? I'm just going to do one more shuffle and then I'm going to call it a quits. I feel like Kaylee felt helpless at the time of her death, but knowing that this crime is going to be solved helps her to feel like she is going to take her power back and win over this situation. I think really the message she wants people to know is that listen to your intuition. When you have a gut feeling, listen to it. Because I just heard it could save your life. Because she knew, she felt something was not right. And that's because I feel like she had spiritual gifts. Yeah, the feeling that I'm getting is that she's a little upset on the other side about how slow this investigation is going. I also get that this is the card that came out, by the way, accelerated motion. I also feel like she was confused because I feel like the death happened very fast. I really strongly feel that the phone calls that she made that night to, I guess, her ex or whoever else was that bad feeling manifesting itself. It's like she did that, but it was too late. Yeah. This crime is going to be solved. 100% is going to be solved. Again, that person was there that night, and I believe is on camera. So I'm going to leave it there. We might revisit it because I want to know about those messages that she was sending. I also want to know, was her ex the only person that was contacted, or did she try and contact other people? Because I feel like those messages were her way of trying to get help because of the bad feeling that she was having. But I feel like her death was quick, which is why she was kind of confused. But it's gonna get repetitive, so I'm just gonna leave it here, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Take care.